Judges and audience members, please find your seats before the next speaker speaks. Our second speaker today, Andrew Cretella, War as Metaphor, 1984. War as Metaphor, 1984, Andrew Cretella. In 1948, George Orwell wrote his novel, 1984. And in it, he described how governments control people. He warned that you control the people if you control the language. He warned that you control the people if you convince them you're in a constant state of war. Well, today, I'd like to examine how this relates to our post-9/11 world. Let's start with the language. We often hear that we're fighting a global war on terror. Now, I find that expression disturbing. Why? Because terror is a state of fear. Fighting a war on terror is like fighting our own fear. That is such sloppy, shoddy language that I feel that's an attempt to manipulate us, to bypass our brains and create a gut reaction to make us feel our fear. I think it would be more fair and honest to say we're fighting a war on terrorism, much like we fight a war on crime or drugs. But that's a metaphor. Terrorism is not an enemy, it's a tactic. So who is the enemy? Is it Al-Qaeda? Is it the Taliban? Is it anyone we say it is? You see, if you're not real specific about who the enemy is, it could be anyone, even you. Are you from the Middle East? What's your nationality? Have you ever been to the Middle East? We're watching you. We've been listening to your phone calls, reading your emails. We know which websites you've been visiting. We suspect that you are a terrorist. And that means that you no longer have any rights. You have become a casualty of the war on terror. And there's nothing casual about it. Welcome to 1984. And we can avoid this kind of madness by just returning to the rule of law, the way it was before 9/11. Does anyone remember the United States Constitution? See, the Constitution says that Congress, and only Congress, can declare war. And yet, here we are, mired in several wars without a declaration of war. And that means we have troops in harm's way every single day. And we often hear the expression, gotta support the troops. Well, I find that expression disturbing. Why? Because, first of all, we all support the troops. But when I hear gotta support the troops, I have this funny feeling that's supposed to mean gotta support the war, as if that's the same as supporting the troops. Well, today I'm going to make two suggestions, two tests, to determine if we are indeed a nation at war. And both of these tests provide real, substantial support for the troops. First, if we are indeed a nation at war, we should have a draft. Without a draft, a relatively small group of people are doing all the fighting for us. They are put into harm's way again and again and again, and that's not fair. It's not right. Second, if we are indeed a nation at war, there should be a war tax. Without a war tax, the cost is passed on to our children, and that's not fair. It's not right. Now, I am not a fan of a draft or a war tax. I'm merely suggesting that we should be fair and honest about these things. If we are going to say we're a nation at war, then we should all share in the sacrifice, not just those in uniform, we should all have some skin in the game. Now, I know there are people who don't want to think about these things. Some people tell me we shouldn't talk about these things. But I think there are two compelling reasons why we should. First, this is the United States of America, the world's foremost democracy. Well, what kind of a democracy would we be if we can't talk about the most important issues of the day? And second, this is Toastmasters, is it not? What kind of an organization would we be if we can't talk about communication and leadership at the highest levels of the nation? Now, I'm not asking you to agree with me. I'm not asking you to believe a single thing I've said. But I am asking you to question authority. Speak up and speak out. Make your voice heard. Because if you don't, we may all wake up one day in a world much like George Orwell's 1984. And so I urge you to make your voice heard.